Into the ballgame is Paul McKeskey, who's become kind of a cult hero in Milwaukee, Tommy.
Fred Roberts hits McKeskey at the other end.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton with my great friend Paul McKeskey coming to you on a Tuesday evening. Hope everybody's doing well. It's playoff time in the NBA. And Mo, it is absolutely the best time of the year.
It's better than March Madness. There's a 7-game series and games are every night. And, everyone's all excited about upsets and non-upsets and blown games. People, it's only game one. Relax. It's game one.
Mo, do you believe in the old adage where nothing's changed till you lose on home court?
No, I don't. I'm into the adage that the odd number games matter the most. 1, 3, 5, and of course 7.
1, 3, 5. Yeah.
Those are the turning games. You could steal, like Golden State, they stole game 1. That's good, right? Now, if Houston gets game 2, then they go back to Golden State. What's the most important game? 3. You go up 2-1, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I always thought. I thought those odd games.
Even when you played, that was your. I mean, you're trying to win all of them. But.
No, when I played, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know. I was just trying to play good. No, when I coach, I figured that out. Especially with the Dallas Mavericks, And when I scouted for the Dallas Mavericks, I would scout the games before us. So, when we played Memphis in the first round, I was watching the Spurs play. And then when we played the Spurs, I was watching the Phoenix Suns play. And then we played the Phoenix Suns, I was watching Detroit and Miami play. So I was seeing all these different series in 1 year.
Wow. Yeah. And do you cheat a little bit thinking, okay, this is going to be San Antonio. You got to look in depth at both of them. In both teams.
You look at both teams until one team wins, or they're getting ready to sweep or something. Yeah, you gotta. But of course, as the series goes on, if the Spurs are beating Portland, and they're up 3-1, I'm putting Portland on the back burner, and I'm really focusing on the Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, what are your thoughts about the opening weekend of the playoffs, Mo?
Well, I think, games were blown by the Clippers and the Pistons, and, games were stolen by Golden State, and Minnesota goes into LA and just owns the Lakers, which really surprised me. It's interesting because you talk about, right, rest or repetition, what's more important, and the Lakers decided to rest. They had 5 or 6 days off or 5 days off. So they decided to rest and not do full contact. And after the game, they regret that. And they said, we weren't ready for their physicality. We weren't ready, to play up tempo. And, so it's a mind game and it's a chess game, and, matchups, player versus player, matchups, man versus zone, matchups, press versus sit back. All kinds of things are going on in a 7-game series. And after game 1, the winning team tweaks and the losing team overhauls. That's what usually happens.
Yeah. Well, let's start on a second. Let's start with the game that's on right now. Pistons and the Knicks, because the Pistons are right where they were yesterday. The other day, or was it Saturday? They have played well. They're up in the third quarter, and they were up in the fourth quarter the other day and just fell apart. Had a 21-0 run on them. What was the conversation like in the locker room tonight? Going up at halftime tonight, you're up.
Take care of the damn ball. Take care of the damn ball. the Pistons had 23 assists and 19 turnovers. They turned the ball over 19 times. You can't do that in the playoffs, and that's what hurt them. So they probably showed them on film. They probably worked on it in practice, and that's one of the mentions that they had. Right now, hey guys, we're coming out in the second half. We had control of the first game till the last fourth quarter. We controlled it, then we turned the ball over. So we just need to take care of the ball, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but that's been their bugaboo all year. So
well, look at the Knicks had 26 assists and 9 turnovers. So there's the difference, right? Because look at the Pistons didn't shoot great, but they shot good in the game one, 48%. They shot 47% from the three. That's awesome. 15 for 20. But their turnovers just killed them. And, they had Tobias Harris, who had 25 points. Cunningham had 21. He had 20 in the first half tonight. Beasley had 20. Hardaway Jr. had 19. So, they're doing everything right. You just got to take care of the ball, which is easier said than done, especially with how physical the Knicks are on defense.
Yeah, and we were texting back and forth, and you called it too. They looked like a young team out there too, when things really got heated.
Yeah, it's a different feeling. You've never been there before. Most of these guys, Tobias Harris has been there before, but Cunningham never been in a playoff game before. A lot of them, and now multiply that. You're in the Madison Square Garden. You're playing the New York Knicks. Look at all the stars that are there sitting courtside. It's a whole different feel, So, hopefully they can overcome those jitters and those nerves in the second half, because they owned the Knicks for 3 quarters last in the game one, and they lost it in the fourth quarter. So we'll see what happens tonight. Hopefully they learn. So what I do as a coach is I show the first 3 quarters. Look at us. Look at how we run. Look at how we score. Look at how we're attacking on defense. Look at all this good stuff. And then look at our fourth quarter. We're turning the ball over. We're playing pensive. What I would do, though, is I would show the fourth quarter first, and then I'd show the first half after that to end on positive stuff.
Mo, you always on it, brother. You always on it. Hey, but that is an experience teams just have to go through, right? It's no shortcut on that.
Well, it depends on how smart you are. It depends on how tough-minded and studious your players are. Are they looking at film? Players look at film a different way than coaches. Coaches are looking for some of the good, but they're looking for the bad because they have to fix it. Players, when they watch film, look at all the good, and they don't want to see the bad. Some players take it like, oh, man, I made some good shots and stuff, and you're pointing all this turnover and that stupid turnover, or you could look at it like, yeah, I made some shots and I played good, but, man, I got to not turn the ball over in the fourth quarter. Those are 2 different players, right? So it depends on what kind of players you got.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll keep our eye on the Pistons and Knicks. And we got another interesting matchup after this one, Mo. We'll have the Clippers and the Nuggets. And Paul, the Clippers had to be kicking themselves after Saturday's game.
Because those guys have been there before, and they know when you're in a position to steal game one, or really any game in the playoffs, you got to take advantage of that because you can't get it back. That's gone forever. So they had the game. Kawhi had some silly, nonchalant turnovers, and Denver got him in the overtime. And you got to think we should be up 1-0. That's tough mentally on a team and a coaching staff. When you look back, we had that game. We did so much good stuff, and we just gave it away, and you never get it back. So what you have to do is forget about it and try and do the same stuff you did to get control of that game and not throw it away at the end like they did last game. So, we'll see.
And Mo, you got a big thing about, of course, not letting games get away because you're not interested in playing in extended games, having to win in 6 instead of winning in 5. The danger in that.
Just think of Denver, right? So Denver, Joker, Murray, Westbrook, Gordon, Braun, Porter Jr. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 players that played over 30 minutes in the first game. Some played 40. They're not very deep. They need to end this series quicker than, sooner than later, or their bodies are going to break down for the next series. And this is looking to be a long series, too. I mean, Kawhi Leonard played well, 22. Harden played well, 32. Zubac had 21 and 13 boards. Powell had 12. This is a tough matchup. And, so you want to – Denver needs to get game 2 to get this, rolling in the right direction. Or, if this is what happens in a 7-game series, too. So after 2 games, you win one and lose one, you go get on the plane and you go home and go, well, we got the one we wanted. We got the one we wanted. And if you lose one, you go into LA and you're going, man, we should be up 2-0. That's mentality that's on a plane. Happens all the time. Here's the other thing that happens a lot of times. So think about this. So the Clippers blow game 1 and lose it in overtime. If they win game 2, they're thinking, shoot, we got a split and we should have had more than that. We got a good thing going. If you're Denver, you're going, man, we squeaked out game 1 and then we lost game 2 and now we got to go to LA. It's a mental momentum thing. It's reality, and players or coaches are human. And, it's an interesting dynamic in 7-game series. That's why usually the best teams win if there's no serious injuries in 7-game series.
And we want to welcome our visitors in tonight, our viewers, our friends here on Sports Fluent. Make sure you subscribe to us at YouTube at Sports Fluent. Steve's got an interesting question. Is the air in Denver really a difference maker?
Absolutely. Yes, it's altitude. I mean, there's a reason Olympians train at high altitude. You get in better shape. Yeah, the altitude is a real deal. And, during the season, it affects players, it affects referees, it affects everybody. It's a real deal. Altitude is no joke. Here's the difference, though. When you play, the Clippers have been in Denver for 2 or 3 days now. They're used to it now. So it used to be the rule was if you're going to play in Denver, you want to get in the day of the game and play it and get out, and altitude won't affect you as much. Or you want to get in there 2 days before to get used to the altitude. So, the Clippers have been there. But, yeah, altitude is the real deal. It's a great advantage for a home team for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, good question. Hey, please send us your questions and comments. Love to hear about them, your thoughts on what you've seen so far in the first round of the playoffs. All the top seeds have won so far, Mo. Is there one particular series you think where a higher seed is in danger?
Well, all the top seeds haven't won, right? Minnesota was a lower seed than LA.
Oh, Minnesota, right? With the exception of Minnesota.
And Golden State is a 7th seed to the Houston Rockets' number 2 seed.
Whoa! You know what? You're absolutely right, Mo.
Yeah, I usually am, but so
I'm so used to, you know what? I'm taking Golden State for granted. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, Minnesota as a 6th seed or Golden State as 7, that's deceiving, right? I mean, it was really close in the West, and one 2-game difference in the West is the difference between being in 7th spot and being in the 3rd spot. That's how close it was, and so the West is different than the East. The East, I think, has played out. All the higher seeds have won, and all the home teams have won, and the West has not played out that way. Half the home teams lost. So it's going to be Houston lost and the Lakers lost. Yep. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's going to be a very good season. Houston and the Golden State Warriors. That Jimmy Butler trade, they just become a different team since he's gotten there. Did you think he'd make that big a difference, Paul?
Yeah, I thought he'd make a big difference because he's got the same mentality of Draymond Green, except he's more talented, right? He can actually score, and he doesn't turn the ball over. He's really tough. He gets to the free throw line 10 plus times a game, which most Golden State Warriors don't get to the free throw line. He does. So he filled that role in that spot. However, guess what hurt them again? Even though they won the game, what have I been whining about?
Their size.
Right?
Yeah.
Their size. So they were out rebounded 52-36. Houston Rockets had 22 offensive rebounds. That means they got 22 more possessions in the game. So that's going to bite them in the butt. So the Rockets were struggling and Golden State was playing great. And the Rockets put Steven Adams in the game, the big guy that looks like the guy from Aquaman, right?
Yeah.
He played like 18 minutes, got 12 rebounds.
Whoa.
12 rebounds. So that's going to come and bite the Warriors in the butt. I told everybody, I told you, go get a big body, any big body. Just think if they had a legitimate 7-foot guy, I can't remember his name, the big guy that Sacramento picked up at the end. If they had someone like that, they got a chance to win it all, but they don't.
Would a guy like Andre Drummond help them?
Now?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he still can rebound.
No, I've seen him play. He's like, no.
Yeah,
Okay. You know who would be a Dwight Howard. I mean, he can still get up and down the floor and rebound, but they need a big body. Shoot, I can't remember the guy's name. The big center I was hoping they would get.
Who's it with? Oh, I'll look him up.
He's with Sacramento now. Sacramento got him. Anyway, if they would have picked up someone like him, they have a better chance. I mean, they shot 47% from the field, 37% from the three-point line, 78% from the free throw line. Their assists were good. Turnovers 22-11. That was good. Houston turned the ball over just like Detroit did. They have 19 assists and 16 turnovers, so that hurt them. And you have Curry and Butler, but the Warriors need another third option. I don't know why they're not playing Kuminga. He's their best player against Houston Rockets all season. He scored 33 against them a couple months ago, and Steve is not playing them. And they need another third option because Moody had 7, Green had 4, Buddy Hield had 2, and their big guy Post had 0. So they got to get another option. They need to play Kuminga, I think.
You weren't talking about Alex Flynn, who's with
No, he's with Sacramento.
Yeah.
Anyway, they need a big body. So
because normally you give up 22 offensive rebounds, you're gonna lose that game.
Yeah, it's 22. It's 22 more possessions, right?
Yeah.
Valanciunas. Jonas Valanciunas.
Yes.
That's the guy. They could have picked him for a second-round pick. The Warriors could have.
And he's a good passer.
If you put him on that roster, they can compete with OKC for sure.
He would have been perfect for him. Totally agree with you on that.
But they just didn't do it. And, Houston's going to play better. I mean, Sengun played well. Brooks didn't play well. Van Fleet didn't play well. Green didn't play well. Had 7 points and 10. So they're going to play better next game. And if they get 22 more offensive rebounds, they're going to win game 2.
Hey, let's get to your beloved Milwaukee Bucks and Pacers. Pacers ran over them 117-98. Of course, the Bucks don't have Damian Lillard. What's your thoughts there?
I think the Indiana Pacers did a great game plan with the Milwaukee Bucks and said, listen, we're going to let Giannis score 40 or 50. We don't care. We're just going to take every other option away because Giannis is not a good passer, and he tends to bring the ball down all the time playing point guard. Now, when you look at his numbers, he had 36 points and 12 rebounds. Somebody help him out. He had 1 assist. He played 40 minutes and had 1 assist. And he's been averaging double assists, and he missed 7 free throws. So Portis played bad. He had 4 points. Lopez played bad. Kuzma had 0 points. He had as many points as you and me, Ricky. Kuzma, they're starting forward. So unless they can wake up, unless they can get Giannis to pass the ball, and Kuzma, Lopez, Portis, those guys need to start scoring, or it's going to be a short series. And if I'm Indiana, I will let Giannis score a 50-piece. Go ahead and get your 1 assist and miss 10 free throws.
1 assist, man. Come on now.
Miss 8 or 10 free throws, and then we'll win the game. And everybody out here is going, Giannis needs some help. Giannis needs some help. Yes, he does, but he needs to pass the ball, and he needs to not bring the ball down the floor. You're not a point guard. Bring it down, get it on the run, get it on the move, attack the rim like you do, and play real basketball. And
they could have Damian back for game 2.
Yeah, I mean they have to have him back to get some shooting in there, get guys to get someone that can make a basket. But if he doesn't pass Damon the ball, he can't shoot anyway, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Did you ever play with a guy and you had to check him on that? It's like, give the ball up, man.
Sometimes, pass the damn ball, man. I mean, it's okay. You can pass the ball. Guess what? If you're one of the best players, you're going to get it back anyway. What's the problem? It blows my mind, stop dribbling and pass the ball. Who's learned that? Westbrook in Denver. Westbrook is taking a role. He's passing the ball now. Even Harden to some extent, not over dribbling, but yeah, I don't know. Hey, Ricky, pass the damn ball, man.
I'm glad you mentioned Westbrook. It's like he's come to grips with where he is in his career. And it's like he understands, you know what? I still have value. I'm still a good player and can help a team win.
Yeah, and, he has accepted his role, and he's really good with the second when they take the Joker out or Murray out, he becomes, playing with the other guys. And, but it really scary though, right? They put him in the game in the fourth quarter, and Westbrook is either going to win a game or he's going to blow a game for you, make a bad pass. And it was a key possession, and they swung the ball, and he was wide open in the corner, and Westbrook actually made a 3, and it was a big shot. But if that doesn't go in, then he's hurting you. So, I don't know. I think he's accepted his role, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, he definitely did for one game. He really helped them. But no, I still think the Bucks will have a chance with the Pacers. That they did a good job on Halliburton. He didn't hurt him. He only had 10 points that game. Siakam had 25.
Turner had 19. Yeah.
Turner had 19. Yeah.
How many assists did Halliburton have?
Halliburton had 12 assists.
There you go. Guess what he did? He passed the ball.
10 points, 12 assists.
He passed the ball, and guess what? They won. They won handily. They won by 20 points almost. So, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. The confrontation that Halliburton had with Damian Lillard was not smart on Halliburton's part, because that's going to make Lillard come back sooner and want vengeance on him. And it's going to be interesting if Lillard plays in game 2 and what happens, because they got into it by the bench, and then Siakam got into it, and Lillard's like, okay, yeah, you talk your stuff till I get out there. And Lillard has the ability and the talent to be able to really light it up. We'll see.
Mo, help us understand, what's that like when you get in these heated series? I think of your series in Milwaukee when you guys go up against the Celtics or the Pistons, or the great Sixers teams, just high-level basketball, very intense. Is there any way to put that in words? What's that like?
No. I'm sorry, but no. it's just a different level. It's different intensity, different mentality, different pressure. There is no surprises. Everybody on the Celtics know what everybody on the Bucks does, and everybody on the Bucks knows what everybody on the Celtics do. We can call out their plays for them. They can call out our plays for us. We know exactly what's going on, and it comes down to, executing, making good plays, and limiting your bad plays and silly mistakes, and sometimes talent, who's better than the other person, and sometimes smarts too.
Yeah. You are watching We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hantel with my great friend Paul Mokeski, former Milwaukee Bucks center, longtime coach and scout in the NBA. Send us your questions and comments. We'll move on from the Bucks and Pacers on Saturday. The most embarrassing game of the day was the last game. Minnesota just ran by the Lakers. The Lakers actually got off to a good start, led by 7 at the end of the first quarter. And it was a different game after that.
You know what the least important score is? Halftime score. Nobody cares. That was the second most embarrassing game. The first was OKC beating Memphis by almost 50. But for Minnesota to go into LA and pretty much own them for most of the game, and it was a little scary because I think in the end of the third quarter, Anthony Ant-Man went out with a cramp, I think, but he went in the locker room, and the momentum shifted for sure for the Lakers, and they cut it to like 12 or 9 or something, and then he came out and knocked down a couple tough threes. But Naz Reid was the hero of that game. I mean, he had he had 23 points, 5 rebounds, knocked down some big threes, and Randall
floor 6 and 9 from 3.
Randall was nice, having 6 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and then McDaniels had 25 points and 9 rebounds, so he stepped up big. And we talked about this last week. This series is going to come down to, will the Lakers force the Minnesota Timberwolves to play small, or will Minnesota force the Lakers to try and play big? And Minnesota played Gobert 7-2, Naz Reid 6'11" at the same time, and the Lakers could not deal with it. And that was the tug of war that went on that game, and Minnesota won that clearly. And we're going to see how they address that in the next game, to try and get Minnesota to have to play smaller, because just like Golden State, the Lakers have no size. They don't have any size. And, in the long run, that's going to hurt you. Even doesn't have to be the Joker. It just has to be a 7-foot big body guy that can pass, rebound, play defense, protect the rim some, and be an asset to you. You have to have, because what did the Lakers say after the game? Man, they were so physical. We weren't ready for how physical we were. You got to have big bodies to be physical, and they don't.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned, we'll get to the Grizzlies and Thunder. They lost by 51 points, Paul. I mean,
terrible.
Do you even look at that tape? 51 points.
No, you can't. No, why would you? I mean, there's nothing to point. We were horrible. I mean, the only thing you do is say we were horrible and we're going to be better. And they had to play the play-in game, and that was 36 hours before they had to play game 1 in OKC, and OKC ran them over. Throw that tape out. Never look at it. Never talk about it. Just talk about what we need to do in the next game. And Ja Morant, stop laughing on the bench when you're down by 50. That's horrible. I would be all over him if I was a teammate. What are you laughing about? This is embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? I mean, that to me was a telltale sign of what Ja Morant has become. It's just really sad. I mean, for him to be laughing on the bench when you're down by 50 and your teammates are having to clean up the mess that you were part of creating, that's tough.
Sand City Sports, going back to the Minnesota series, Nas Reed, tough matchup. Stretch forward with defensive prowess.
Yeah, but he's allowed to play because Gobert is in there being able to play. But if the Lakers take advantage of Gobert, put him in pick and rolls, then Chris Finch has to take him out of the game, and then Nas Reed is the 5, and he's not as effective. But I mean, Nas Reed, I think was 6th man of the year this year or last year or whatever. I mean, he's a capable guy, but just like some people are better than playing. They're better at playing at the 4 than the 5, and that's Nas Reed. He is a great stretch 4. He's just an okay 5.
Mo, Detroit is exactly where they were the other day, up 8 at the end of the third. What are you seeing in that huddle? You can give us the G rate, the general audience version of this.
Great job getting where we're at. We know we need to finish this 4th quarter. We talked about everything we have to do, whatever specifically that is. Get the ball out of Brunson's hands. We need to make sure we move the ball and pass. We got to play tough defense and rebound. Whatever you talked about that you didn't do in game 1, that's what you talk about in the huddle about doing in game 2. You don't say, here we are again. You can't lose it, because that's losing mentality. You say, we're here. You did a great job. Now we got to close this MFR. and here's how we do it. Keep moving the ball, attack the rim, play tough physical defense, take care of the basketball, make the simple play. That's how you win the game.
Mo, there's no profanity in NBA huddles. You know that.
Well, of course not. It's not allowed.
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah, I tell you, man. And we talked about it before. Morant and Zion Williamson, they got to be 2 of the most disappointing high draft picks to ever come in the league.
It's kind of, and part of it is injuries. They've been hurt, but a lot of it is their attitude. Zion's never gotten in real great shape. John Morant has been more interested in having guns in a club and living the life, I guess, than being a great basketball player and winning a series and then win a championship. I mean, but John Morant didn't play very good, but Jaren Jackson Jr. was horrible. He made the All-Star team this year for the first time. He had 4 points and 3 rebounds. So maybe it was legs. OKC is a great team, and the crowd there is phenomenal. And once the snow ball starts rolling down the mountain, it's hard to stop it. And that's what happened. And you got to throw that out the window and say, here, this is what we got to do in game 2, and this is what we're going to do. And then you got to focus on doing it. At the same time, you got to have players on your team that are disciplined enough to be able to do that. I'm not so sure they do.
Okay, let's move on to the Celtics and the Magic. Pretty much what I thought would happen. Orlando put up a good fight, but Boston's just, they're just a better team. They won 103-86. If you're the Celtics, you just want to make sure everybody gets out of this series healthy. As you always say, win every game so we don't have to do anything extra. But they're clearly the better team in this series.
Yeah, you want to finish the series in 4 or 5 at the most. Orlando's not very deep. Banchero, great player, 36 points, 11 rebounds. Wagner didn't have a great game. He had 23 and 3. But they have nobody else on their roster. Come on, man. I mean, look at the Celtics. Derek White is their fourth option?
Gold medal winner.
He had 30 and 4. Tatum 17 and 14. Brown had 16 and 5. Pritchard came off the bench and had 19. Holiday, who's one of the best guards in the league, is hardly playing. He had 9 and 3. Porzingis had a bad game, 5 points and 6 rebounds. Horford had 5 and 5, but they can go so many players. They're 8, 9, almost 10 deep, and Orlando's like 3 deep. So, this is going to be a fast series. If you're the Celtics, you want everybody to stay healthy. You don't want Porzingis to get hurt. I don't know the deal with Holiday. I guess he's been hurt. You want to see if you can get him right in this series because you're going to need him down the road as you come up against the better teams like the Cavs and the Bucks or Indiana or whoever. So you're going to need to use, get that rest while you can and, end it as fast as you can.
Orlando used to be the vet graveyard. Yeah, they got some nice young players. They got some more building to do.
Yep. Yeah.
They just got some more building.
Yeah, they were the vet graveyard because when they came in the league, they picked one of the 11th or 12th guys on everybody's team, like Greg Kite and, guys like that.
Mo, what kind of teammate was John Lucas?
He was a great teammate. He'd had his problems in the league. Got past them. Really smart, really skilled. Held his teammates accountable. If he passed you a nice pass and you missed a shot, he yelled at you. Said, if you miss another one, I'm never passing to you again. So, he was a great competitor. And he wanted to win and did whatever it takes to win.
He really said that, Paul.
Absolutely, yes. If you mess up my dime, I'm not passing you anymore. He also had a way of if you're open, he would put a little air under the ball, so by the time you caught it, the defense caught up with you, and you had to pass it back to him.
Had to get it back to him.
He absolutely did that.
Hey, we have to give him a call at some point and see if we can get him back on the air. Friend of the show, John Lucas. Pritchard, 6th man of the year. I mean, Mo, they have developed that kid into a nice player, understands his role, plays hard, shoots the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he developed himself. He found a role for himself, right? And he's playing it. Derek White. Who was Derek White? Derek White was nowhere a few years ago. Now he's one of the best players on the best team and a gold medal winner. So, that's
right. And Mo, coming out of high school, he was not a 5-star, none of that stuff.
He wasn't a big-time NBA player. So, he figured his role and he got there, and now he's thriving. And, that's what a lot of players don't understand.
Yeah, that is for sure. And the last game, Cleveland 121, Heat 100. Again, I think just a better team. Although I think the Heat I just have so much respect for that organization, but their manpower just isn't what it is now, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the roster they usually have. They have enough there to make this a series, but, the Cavs have been one of the best teams, if not the best team with OKC for all season long, right? They have a great backcourt with Mitchell and Garland. They got Allen back now, so Mobley can play the 4 where he's better at. He didn't have a great game, but he was going to have a better one. And then they have Strus that can make shots. Ty Jerome is a really good young player who had 28 points last game. So they've just got deeper and better. And, Miami has got less deep and not as good. So, I think Miami can put up a better fight than they did. They didn't play very good. Adebayo and Hero played well, but nobody else did. So I think Miami could maybe get a game or two in that series. But once again, if you're Cleveland and you're smart enough, you want to finish the series as fast as you can and rest up and prepare for the next series, whoever that is.
Yeah. Just got an update. Pistons 80-71 with 8 minutes left. Hold on, because the Knicks are going to make a run.
Yep.
To try to finish this game off.
So let's backtrack. So we're talking about ending this series, right? As soon as you can. That's what we talk about. Because when the Cavs win this series, they're going to play either Indiana or Milwaukee. They better be ready, right? And if you're Boston, you're going to play Detroit or New York. So you better be ready. And, that goes for all the series. I mean, if you're OKC, you better finish it because you're going to play probably Denver or the Clippers. And if you're the Lakers or Houston, Golden State, Minnesota, look at those four teams. They're gonna those guys will play their each other in the next series. So you need to end your series as fast as you can.
Paul, who do you like right now? And we'll break them down as they get closer. But who do you like right now, Cleveland or Boston?
I still think Boston has the edge because they've done it before. They're deep again. They're very talented. The thing about Boston, though, is if I was Cleveland coaching staff and I got to that series, I would figure a way to get the wrong people shooting their threes because they jack up a lot of threes. And if they're hot, forget about it. And if they have the right people shooting them, forget about it. But they have a tendency to jack up bad threes. And if I can get them to do that, then I can get them to fall in that trick of, okay, we're down. Now we got to shoot more threes and maybe win those games. So, but I still like Boston. And if there's a series with Cleveland and Boston, I still, even though Cleveland has the home court, I still like Boston in that series, I think.
Yeah. It'll be a long series too, won't it?
Barring any injuries, yeah, it'll probably go 7, I would think.
Yeah. Let's hear from you guys out there, your thoughts on this series. I see all you out there. Give us your questions. Give us your comments.
Yep.
But after this Pistons game over,
let me ask a question. Anybody out there, if OKC makes it to the West Finals, who is their worst team that they could play? What team could upset them? Is it Minnesota? Is it Denver Clippers? Is it the Lakers, Houston? Who's the team that can beat OKC in the West?
Great question.
Is it Golden State? Woo!
Only because they just don't have they have nobody for Harkenstein and Holmgren.
Yeah, they just don't. Yeah, I mean,
No, that's a great question. Who? I'd say Denver because of the joke.
yeah, but the Clippers have Zubac, who's playing out of his mind too, so they haven't been good. Rudy Gobert is they have that matchup that could be a problem, and Houston has Sengun, who's a really good kid. So we'll see.
San City likes Minnesota because of Edwards.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see. But you know who OKC has that can guard Edwards? Dort. Dort is one of the best wing defenders in the league, so they can throw him at him, Caruso at him, Wiggins at him. The problem with that is, and we saw it earlier in the season, was Ant-Man got frustrated, right? He was getting double teamed. He wasn't able to get a shot off. I think he's passed that up, but that kind of frustrated him. So, Ant-Man can take over a game. He's shooting the three better than anybody in the NBA at this point. Even Steph Curry. That's mind-boggling.
Who would you pick, Paul?
If everybody's healthy, I might pick Denver. I think the Joker, Murray, Aaron Gordon, Porter Jr., Westbrook, Brown is really coming on. I think that might be the team that could give them the most trouble. But, I wouldn't throw away Minnesota. I wouldn't throw away Memphis. Golden State, except they don't have any size. I thought Houston was going to be better. Maybe they come out in game 2 and really play really well like they've been playing all year because they have the roster, with Dylan Brooks and Sengun and Amen Thompson and Van Fleet, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Torrey Eason. They got a really deep team. They have a team that 7 players averaging double figures on the Houston Rockets.
Hey Mo, you remember doing March Madness? We talked about you always talk about these rankings and the top 10 players in the country and the top 100 players, and you were saying you could take a team with the second 100 and compete with anybody in college basketball. In the NBA, their guys like Van Fleet was not a high draft pick. you can assemble a team of guys who weren't drafted very high, second rounders, late first rounders, and put a competitive team on the floor.
Yeah, but they're few and far between. I mean, most second round picks in the NBA, they don't make a team, not for very long. And most of the second half of the first round, those guys don't stay in the league longer than 3 years. So you can find those players. They're out there, but give me the top 100 in the NBA, and I'll, you got no chance against me.
I know. I was thinking about Van Fleet because he may have been a second round draft pick or not even drafted, and he's a little guy, and he's not slow, but he's not outrunning everybody out there, man.
How about this guy, Austin Reeves, undrafted. Austin Reeves was not drafted, but he's in the right scenario. He's a good player. So, it depends on who the player is and where they fit. Would you rather have Austin Reeves or Zion right now?
Don't trust the Nuggets after internal purge. Can't win with a team that fire winning coaches. Anything to that ball?
I agree. I mean, Denver fired their coach. Memphis fired their coach. Who else fired their coach? I think that's all that's left.
Memphis? Did you say Memphis?
Yeah, Memphis. But depending on the team and the players that Denver has, they've been there before and done it as a group. They have the same group that won it 2 years ago, right? Or last year. When did they win
it? 2 years ago.
So they still have Murray, the Joker, Aaron Gordon, Brown, and now they added Westbrook and Porter Jr. So, they're almost coaching themselves. Golden State is pretty similar too. They almost coach themselves, but making that decision right before the playoffs could hurt them. You might be right with that.
Now, it's a difference in the team coaching itself and the team that says, we don't really need a coach, like Kyrie said.
Yeah, because just like anything, I don't need any help. I can fix it myself. Yeah, those are the people that really need the help, right? So if you have a team saying we don't need a coach, they're probably one of the teams that actually really, really, really needs a coach. So,
Mo, take us in the Pistons huddle. They're up 89-78. I think about 5 minutes or so left. 6:29 left. Preach the same thing. Let's just finish this, guys.
Yeah, I'm probably drawing up a play if we have the ball or don't have the ball. The next play we run, let's get Cade off a staggered and then set a pick and roll for him and get a roller to the basket, something like that. I'm setting up a nice play that we can come out of the huddle with, and then I'm telling them, stay aggressive, stay physical. The first guy that makes contact usually gets the call, and stay strong with the ball. Take care of the ball. Secure the ball, secure the rebounds, make simple passes. That's what I'm saying.
And the thing about the Pistons that's really underrated, they're a very good defensive team. I don't think a lot of people know because a lot of people hadn't seen them, but they really get after you on the defensive end of the floor. Again.
So, and that's the other thing I'm saying if I'm in that huddle. Come on, man, 3 stops and we win this game. We get 3 stops in a row and we'll win this game.
Yeah. Well, they just scored to make it 90-78. Any other thoughts about what you've seen so far, Mo?
No, I think it's playing out, right? The East is the East. The Cavs and the Celtics are the best teams. Indiana and Milwaukee are kind of fighting for the other positions. But in the West, like we said, right? It's the wild, wild West. OKC is the top of the West. But you could pick Houston, the Lakers, Denver, the Clippers, Minnesota, or Golden State, and any of those teams are pretty much right on par with each other. Any of those teams could beat any of those other teams in a 7-game series, which is crazy. That usually never happens.
Hey, and let's get to some of the news of the day. The Hawks fired Landry Fields after their disappointing into the season. They were 101 and 114 with him there. And there's talk about trading Trey Young in Atlanta. But obviously, Mo, he's a guy who's been a very productive player stats wise. And they had a great run one year to the finals, to the conference finals where the Bucks beat them. But it seems like Young has to be in a particular kind of offense or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he hit bad shots, hit long threes, get on a serious roll. You know who we said that about a few years back? Buddy Hield, didn't we? Buddy Hield was that guy. You know, so if you put Trey Young with the Golden State Warriors and give them one more big, you got an NBA contender. Now, if you're not going to play Kuminga, you could trade Kuminga and a draft pick or another player to Atlanta for Trey Young. That's the deal I'm making, if I can. And I think you could at this point.
Yeah.
To this point, Kuminga's been untouchable.
Ever since that whole thing with Nate McMillan, I'm just not a big fan of Trey Young. I'm not.
Yeah. Nobody liked Buddy Hield. No. But if you can go into Dennis Rodman in any other, he was fine with the Pistons because he was young, but then he went to San Antonio, he was a disaster. And then he went to the Bulls and he was great. And then he went to the Lakers, he was great because he fit in with those guys. So if you put Trey Young with Butler and Curry and either some of those other leaders Draymond, I would do that in a second.
Other news today, not big news because I think everybody knew Cooper Flagg is going to declare himself for the NBA draft. Your thoughts of Cooper's game, Mo, and how do you see him developing in the NBA?
Well, I guess he's just praying he doesn't go to Washington, right? I mean, jeez. Well, what a disaster that would be. But just think if, say, a team that's up there that has a chance of really sneaking in the ping pong ball, San Antonio Spurs. What about that?
Goodness.
What about you put him with Wemby? How about that matchup for years to come? So maybe if I'm the Spurs, I'm trying to make a trade to get that spot, get that pick. Well, you know what? I'll give you my next 10 first rounds so I can do that. You can have them all. But because he is he's athletic, he's smart, he's strong, he takes to the basket. He needs to work on his NBA three-point shot, his range, because they're going to, he needs to work on that. It's not broken, but it's not great yet. And I think he has that tenacity and that toughness to want to be able to defend, too, and that's key.
Okay, here come the Knicks, down 6. 4 minutes to go.
Oh, that's bad.
Fellas, hang in there.
Would they make a 5-0 run or something?
I don't know. I'm just getting updates on my computer.
Yeah,
Steve is checking in with us here.
I guarantee you they turned the ball over at least once in that situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Just hold on.
They just got a foul. I'm watching it now. There's still a lot of game left, though, Ricky. There's a lot of game left.
Yeah, no, they're showing their potential. I just think they're just a young team, man.
I mean, think where they were last year, where they are this year, and this is
14 wins, Paul.
Huh?
They had 14 wins. It went from 14 to 44.
Brunson's just going out into the locker room. He got hurt.
Ricky Hansen, you're getting nervous. Of course I'm nervous. I'm always nervous when my beloved Detroit teams are in action.
So Cade has the ball right now. He's dribbling in circles. He's still dribbling.
Do not throw it away.
No, they got a 3-off miss. And now, so just trips Cunningham. It's like, come on, man. He just dribbled around the circle and then passed it to a guy in the corner on the last second. Yeah, too bad. But
Mo,
you know,
we got a couple of minutes left, man.
even if the Pistons lose this series, they can even if they can win one, maybe 2 games. That's a huge stride for them.
Yeah.
Huge stride. And you know, we'll see what happens. But
And the game's already sold out Thursday here in Detroit. So that place will be rocking. So that'll help the young guys, I hope, coming home and play. They have the crowd behind them.
Knicks on the free throw
But
line.
man, the NBA playoffs, the NBA playoffs are just the talent, the competitiveness. It's unmatched, man.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm really impressed that this year the referees are letting the teams play. It's getting physical, and it seems like there's more teams and more players that actually care this year about winning games, and it's good to see. I mean, there's just a little push and shove in the Knicks Pistons game. That's good. It means they care. You know, I'm not talking about fighting or anything, but they're showing compassion for the game. And as an old timer and a 12-year vet, that makes me feel happy that the refs are letting them play more. It's getting physical, and it looks like they have passion to win these games. And that's what the playoffs are all about. I mean, winning a playoff game, winning a playoff series, that's something special that you'll remember your whole life. You know, back in the day when we swept the Celtics out of the playoffs one year, 4-0, we swept them. You know, that was just something that I'll never forget.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Pistons, hopefully they're playing tonight without Isaiah Stewart, who's their best defender. He really helps them on defense. He organizes things. He's a shot blocker. Hopefully they will get him back for Thursday's game. So, yeah, win or lose.
The best ability is availability.
Yeah, and he's been available, doggone it, until the last couple of games.
Hey, it don't matter anymore. It matters now. You have to be available now. You know, just ask the Bucks who played without Giannis the last 2 playoffs years. I mean, you got to be available now, and that's why you went series fast, and that's why you try to stay healthy.
That's right, Marcus. They got that Detroit grit, baby.
Yeah,
it's better when the Pistons in the playoffs. Yeah.
Cade Cunningham just dribbled in a circle and then made a pass and then tripped somebody. So come on, man.
Well, Mo, we'll end a couple of minutes early so I can watch the end of this. But we will be back Monday, and Mo, we'll have a lot to talk about, man. This is so much fun.
A lot of updates on the series. Some series might be over by then. And some series it's going to be interesting to see where we are. In the Wild Wild West and the Cavs and Boston East.
On collision course.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to We Got Next. It's on. I got it scrolling on the screen here. It's there it is. We Got Next. Check out our shows. You can go back and look at all our other shows. We've had some tremendous guests. So check us out. For the big fella, Paul Mokeski, I'm Rick Hampton. Peace, everybody.
Later.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
No, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.